I'm Travis Fitz, and this is my wife, Christine. We've been married for just over 5 years, and we have 3 wonderful children. And we are excited to be able to share a bit of my story, our story, as I have struggled with same-gender attraction. My family is a part-member family. I was baptized into the church at 8, but became inactive shortly after that. And in being inactive, I had lost the gospel in my life. I only knew so much being an 8-year-old in the gospel. I started going back to church on my own as someone that doesn't easily fit in with other boys. Going back to church when I was 12, 13 years old was very difficult. I didn't have any friends at church. I hardly knew the people at church. But I saw how my friends' lives were, and it was something that I wanted. This was a journey of faith for me. I learned about hope in a sense that I held on to my friendship. I hoped for something better. I hoped that I could find understanding in my feelings and my depression. And then my faith grew because of the friendships that I had. When I was 14, I was able to go to the temple and do baptisms for the dead. And what 14-year-old group of kids go to the temple for fun? That was the kind of friends that I was able to establish. I was overly happy. I had no cares. I had no worries. I had no fears. I just wanted to continue to have a great time with great friends, living the gospel. And in my senior year, I hit probably one of the lowest points in my life. In October through December of my senior year in high school, I went from really happy to suicidal. We were visiting a local high school, watching a production of one of their plays, and afterwards they had kind of a meet and greet with their cast. And so our friends, we all stayed and talked and visited with the students from the other school. And in that process, I was approached by another boy. We were having a good conversation, just talking about drama and the show that they had performed. And in concluding that conversation, he had asked me for my number. And I kind of feel now that I was naive, and I trusted people, and I felt like I was establishing a friendship. And so I gave him my number, and he ended up calling me later in the week and came to visit at our school, and nothing really felt weird to me until he showed up at our school in the middle of the school day. So as this boy from the other school began showing up more often, I began to experience these new emotions of same-gender attraction that were stronger than they were previously in my life. They were so much stronger that it scared me. This started for me of really understanding what was going on after I had served an LDS mission. Prior to that, my understanding of the emotions I felt was merely depression, highs and lows, not really understanding what caused it other than I had depression. After my mission, I began to understand more of the feelings that I felt, the attractions that I had for other men that were around me. For so long, I had fought those thoughts, thinking that they're just thoughts. If I could ignore them, if I could just push them away, that it would stop, that it would go away. But as years went on, I realized that it wasn't something that was just going to go away. My understanding came to be that it was who I was. It was part of me. And in being part of me, I needed to figure out a way to handle it, to be able to trust others and I needed to be able to know who I was and be comfortable with who I was so that I could be honest and real with those people around me. I turned to blind dates on occasion. It's hard to find new girls all the time to date. And so my good friend Nate, from high school and growing up, he set me up with Christine. I had previously, the night before, an extremely not fun date. I was ready to give up. I didn't want to date. Had I known that our Sunday dinner would have been a date, I don't know that I would have met my lovely wife.
And for me too, I did the same thing, dating a lot, and I took a marriage prep class, and that kind of gave me confidence to go ask guys out. It was very nerve-wracking, but I did the same thing, like lots of dating, and I was finally at a point where like, okay, I give up. I'm gonna give this blind date one last chance, and I'm just gonna take a break for a while. I'm sick of this. And it was kind of an important blind date, so I'm glad I went.
I feel like Heavenly Father knew our situation. He knew my situation, that he had a plan for me to meet Christine.
And he knew long before I did that he wanted to get married. And I guess I always knew in my heart that he was the one I was going to marry, but it took me a long time to realize it. And it was actually very shortly after I realized, like, yeah, I want to marry this man, that he proposed. And so it was kind of perfect timing. I felt like I felt ready. I felt that, yes, this was who I wanted to spend eternity with.
About 3.5 years into our marriage, the same gender attraction that I had was starting to itch within me. And what I mean by itch is it's something that I had kept secret, that I had not been 100% honest with my wife, that I was holding back from our relationship. How am I going to do this? How am I going to tell her? I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know how to approach it. And finally, I decided one night that I would tell her, and it was not in a very effective way.
When he finally came out and said, I have same-sex attraction, I just remember feeling, is that it? You're not going to tell me that you're unhappy. You're not going to tell me that you don't want to be married anymore, that you don't want this. That's it. We're not over. And so at that point, I was crying because I was so anxious, and then I was crying because I was so relieved.
And that's where I gained my hope. Hope that our relationship wouldn't change, that it could be like these stories that she had shared with me, that we could stay a strong, happy family and strong in the gospel. It gave me trust, more trust in my wife, and trust in Heavenly Father, that He knew and He had prepared us for that moment. And our faith began to grow. The reception of us telling our friends and family has been extremely positive.
We're really, really grateful for that.
And them knowing that, being attracted to other men does not define who I am. That, as Christine had said, that I am a collection of my entire life, of all the things I've been through. It makes me who I am. My life of hope, of not giving up, trusting in the Lord, trusting in my friends, and trusting in my family. And with faith and the gospel, there is hope that I can experience all the blessings that Heavenly Father has in store for me, that I can live with my family forever, with my wife and with my children, with my future grandchildren. I have hope, trust, and faith that life will continue forward, that I will have the strength to overcome any trial placed before me. Love you, babe.